at a gas station. It's at a gas station bathroom in Delaware. We broke the news to you just a few days ago, and here's the latest. Look at there's the picture we've been showing you. Those innocent eyes, you can see the hurt on her face, found Sunday in a men's room. Well, now an arrest. Her father just charged with kidnapping and endangering the welfare of a child. And it gets worse. Police have found a burned female body in a park in New York. Cops say this could be linked. Back with us to talk about it, Robin Sachs, former sex crimes prosecutor. And joining us as well, investigative journalist Michelle Sagona. You can always check out updates on some of these stories at our website, michellesagona.com. Michelle, give us the latest talking about Dwayne Jackson. Let's start with his arrest.
Dwayne Jackson was arrested, and at this point, I did talk to the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. They did just send me the information. At this time, he's being held on $750,000 bail, and they are working with investigators in New York on the body that was found, that was burned. It was a female body, believed to be about 18 or 19 years old at this point. The information is still very preliminary. So at this time, they're going to check with where her mom, the child's mother, was living in New Brunswick at the time. That's where we know that the child was living, and what exactly happened, the timeline leading up to when the child was left at the Shell gas station, when her mother went missing, where this body was found, the evidence surrounding the body, and moving forward from there.
Okay, Robin Sachs, real quick, as we look at that, and Michelle brought us the $750,000, that's the bond. What does that tell you? Does that tell you that it's just dealing with this little girl, or does that money and that high bond tell you it also has to deal with this woman found, her burned body found in New York?
You know, it's hard to say, especially in light of the fact that we just talked about the Shania Davis case, and that was only a $51,000 bond. So I don't know if this was a judge going light and doing multiple counts, or if there's only one count. But I do know that it will be essential, like Michelle says, not only to go forward and look at the timeline, but to go backward and to look and connect the dots, perhaps in terms of prior reports and a prior relationship, to see if we can link up some sort of story and history between the two.
Okay, let's go there with Michelle. Michelle, do we know anything about... we see this cute little girl.
She is cute.
Dwayne Jackson, the father, do we know who the mother is? Were they married? How long do they know each other? Anything at all on that front?
Those are things that we're learning about now, Mike, because as you know, this information just came about within the last couple of hours. So now that we've learned his name, we'll learn more about where he was living at the time, the circumstances surrounding the child, what kind of history he had with the child's mother, and, you know, where exactly, how, if this is in fact the mother. The body was transported to New York, how the cause of manner of death. There's a lot to figure out. That the little girl that you see on your screen right there, she's now in foster care. The foster family says that she's doing extremely well. She's smiling, she's responding. So that's good news in this case. Thankfully, the child was not injured.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the timeline, Michelle. So she was found Sunday, right?
That's
little
correct.
Girl.
She was found at the gas station.
When was the burned body found?
If I'm not mistaken, sometime within that time period, investigators in New York came across that body. Now, that connection was not made until recently. I think that as the investigation went on and after the child was found, they went back to the apartment, and then they figured out, wait a minute, where's the child's mother? Where does this take place? You know, how they're putting these pieces together, they aren't saying exactly, but they are combing through the evidence.
Don't speculate, Michelle.
So, Robin, let's pick it up there. So, investigators, prosecutors, as you're looking to build a possible case, what are you looking for as you're trying to connect the dots here from this little girl to the apartment to the burned body?
Well, first of all, they have to have something pretty clear, because as we know, law enforcement, you know, and resources, to put one crime in one place with another crime in another place without communication, which never happens unless it's some sort of kidnap, huge case, is pretty remarkable. So there has to have been something, and probably coming from the little girl herself. That is the best piece of, or the beginning of information, is that we do have an eyewitness, and people sit here and think, oh, a 2-year-old can't give details. You would be surprised how articulate some little kids can be.
Michelle,
you're right.
You'd mentioned that the family that she's with now says she's smiling. Are we getting any specifics? Is she talking? We heard that she's asking more for mommy than daddy. Is that, you hearing that as well?
I've heard that as well. Unfortunately, I don't know for sure, but I can tell you, you know, she's 20 months old, and she, you know, children, especially females, little girls, they are quite talkative, especially at that age. And so if she is advanced, and you can see her in some of that video, and, you know, they do remember certain things, but I also know that when you're questioning a child, what I've learned from investigators is that you let them talk, and you let them bring you details, and you let them be able to come forward. And sort of like in the Bobby Cutts case, the man that was charged with murdering his girlfriend, and the child was left behind. That child gave some pretty good information.
Yeah. Okay, please.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah,
Robin, Michelle, we've got to run. More news coming up. Keep it right here.